Hello, and welcome to the Eastern Campus Update for August 15 through 28. I'd like to take the entire review, this will be a little longer video for this particular 2-week period, and devote it to how are we doing and where are we going. Let's look at the numbers and see where we are. So welcome to reality and enjoy the journey. We've got 10 big metrics, Eastern Campus metrics I'd like for us to look at. I know a lot of good work has been going on. I can see it in the hallways, talk to people, talk to our students. Is that work being borne out in our key data metrics? Well, let's look at students successfully completing developmental English in their first term, up to 56%. This is an increase from the previous 2 years and in line with the target goals. Those are set by the Student Success Team. Now, math is tough nationwide, as well as it is here at Cuyahoga. That number took a good jump, 45-46, jumped to 53, and on target again for the goals that we are setting. So good work in developmental education, English and math. Fall to spring retention, don't have the fall to fall numbers yet. Fall to spring retention up to 67%, again, a good increase in line with the student success metric. So far, we're doing well. IPED's 3-year graduation rate up 4.5 to 5.2, again a little increase. IPEDS, by the way, stands for 3 years ago students who were here first time, full time. That's the group we're following for IPEDS. A little bit of a jump to get to that 8.4 for next year, but we'll make a good move there. Total degrees and certificates, wow, blowing it out of the water. 466, 714, this past year, 846. That is the key metric that drives us, our students completing, moving on to their next space. Wow, that's absolutely incredible. Student Success Team will probably adjust these metrics up a little bit to reflect that good success. And we look at students completing FYE. Now, we had no baseline for this, and we took a stab on the campus at 80%. College-wide, it was around 70. We were at 72, so we did quite well. What we did not know was that students try to escape the inescapable. 134 students tried to not do something in the FYE, not take the course, not attend things, took the course, didn't go to class. So we've rounded them up. It was a lot of hard work. So we will probably adjust these targets down a little bit in the Student Success Team, but off to a good start. Now, we're doing well. Is everybody doing well? We're a good campus on diversity. I think we try to treat everybody equally well and provide services for everyone. The harder question to ask is equity. Is everyone succeeding at the same rate? We're making gains. Are those gains realized across all our groups? So let's just look at students completing FYE. So our number was 72% campus-wide. Caucasians, that's 77. African Americans, 69. So again, there's a gap there. Let's look at students successfully completing Gateway English. African Americans, 20 to 22 to 26% making gains. But there's a gap, 26% to 49. That's a 23% gap in success. Look at students successfully completing Gateway Math in a year. 4%. Numbers not moving. 21%, 10%. Let's look at fall to spring retention. Remember, we were at 67%. Well, 73 for Caucasian, 63, 10% gap there and that accounts for some, that's why we're at 67. IPED's 3-year graduation rate from 2 to 6 to 13%. Great increase. African Americans, not so much, 2.6 down to 2.2. So if we look at total degrees and certificates, as students walk across the stage at graduation and I shake their hands, 39% of those students from the Eastern Campus are African American. Now, when I walk the hallways and shake hands of our students, 54% of our students are African Americans. I'd like to close that gap. I'd like the hands that I shake at commencement to reflect the hands that I shake out here in the hallway. I think that's an important goal for us. We want to start to look at the data and talk about it this year and think about how we can do some things a little bit differently. So where are we going? I gave a little bit of a few hints there, but let's look at our goals for next year. The first is strengthening student success through the first year experience program. Now, I think they did great this year. And if you notice, it is owned by the student success team. They set the metrics, do a lot of the groundwork for that. And FR, so this is dedicated to our freshmen, our beginning students in our student taxonomy. I think we can beef up the second semester, maybe add a financial wellness plan a little bit to it, put some more activities there, and get more students to take the FYE. We're not going to let so many students escape the inescapable, as we said this past year. Number two, once students are at, say, 15 hours, and they've got an academic plan, it's a large group of students in our campus. Are they making a path to completion? Are they staying on that path? Or are they dropping out full-time to part-time to not here at all? So forming service groups. This is for everyone, but really targeted to SO sophomores, owned by the executive team, and then we'll disperse that once the teams are created. Our third goal is increasing completion with a variety of things, including building a transition center. We know that the last few steps are sometimes the hardest steps. The UP there is for upperclassmen. So one for freshmen, one for sophomores, one for upperclassmen. Student success and completion across the student taxonomy. Goal number 4 is about having learning spaces with more dynamic learning. It means adjusting some of our learning spaces in terms of furniture or trying different things that are kind of engaging in the classroom. And if we do more of that, will more of our students succeed? That's a good question. So FAC, ultimately, executive team is going to help build the spaces with faculty consultation, but ultimately the faculty are going to talk about this, how they want to do this, where they want to go with this. I'm really looking forward. This is a very exciting goal for us. We're already building with good faculty connection and faculty presence the spaces for Mandel. We're also planning 5 additional classrooms that'll be the kind of primo liberal arts teaching space, liberal arts and humanities, upstairs in that second floor of the Jack Joseph and Morton Mandel Humanities Center. In the backfill project, now that we're moving student services into the Eastern Campus, there's some classrooms that we're going to recut out in the EEC. All of those are good opportunities to put in something that's more dynamic than the current kind of tablet armchair furniture that we have in the standard Extron presentation equipment. And what's at the heart of all of that? Faculty and the CLE, working with subject matter experts in a team to try to drive more dynamic things into all of our classes. And lastly, equity. That's everyone's going to be involved in the equity. How do we make stronger relational connections across all of our groups? As your leader, I gotta say, really proud of the great work we're doing. As we continue that work, we want to make sure that all groups are succeeding more and more and not have that gap. I'd like to close that gap by shaking hands with students at commencement that reflect the students that first walk in this campus. Wow, we got our work cut out for us, but we did great last year, and I know we'll do great this year. So that's our update strictly on how are we doing and where are we going. We're going to talk more about that in detail on Wednesday, August 19th. That's Campus Day. I look forward to seeing you there. Now, some of you listening to this, you're student-facing. You go, oh, I'm serving students that day. I understand. I would say for August 19th, 2 things. Make sure you get some of that great food that we're going to have at lunch. And if you can sneak away in the afternoon, we have 10 spaces. We're doing a lot of moving. So 10 spaces with a little prize at the end at the CLE. So ask your supervisor if you can get out and take a tour of some of those spaces. I think it'll be good. And if you're student facing that day, we'll have Campus Day 2, we call it, a little bit later in the term when the pace of registration is not upon you. And we'll spend some time together and spend a little bit more in detail on the very things I'm talking about today. So I'm very proud to be your leader and so excited with the wonderful things that you already have done. And I look forward to kicking off another great year on the Eastern Campus on August 19th. And I hope to see you there.